My name is Chidinma, and I'm 14 years old. This story happened when my best friend, Amaka, and I made a huge mistake. One day after school, we met a nice-looking man at the gate. He smiled and said, "Hello, girls. My name is Uncle Tony. I heard you are very smart and need help with school fees. I can help you if you come to my house tomorrow." We were so excited and told him yes. The next day, we followed Uncle Tony to his house in Enugu. The house was big and shiny, and he gave us food and drinks. But after some time, we noticed strange things. The doors were locked, and we couldn't make phone calls. We started to feel scared. Suddenly, we heard a loud noise from a room inside. Uncle Tony's smile changed into a scary face. "Now you can't leave," he said. We were trapped. Amaka and I looked at each other, shaking with fear. We didn't know what to do next, but we knew we had to escape somehow. Amaka grabbed my hand tightly. "Chidinma, what do we do now?" she whispered, her eyes full of tears. I looked around the room quickly, trying to stay calm even though my heart was beating so fast. I saw a small window near the top of the wall, but it had iron bars. "We have to find a way out," I whispered back. Uncle Tony laughed loudly. "Don't bother looking for a way to escape. This house is safe and locked tight." He left the room, and we heard the click of the door locking from outside. Amaka sat on the floor and started crying. "We should have listened to our parents," she said. I hugged her. "It's okay, Amaka. We must be smart now." We checked the room. There was a cupboard, a table, and a chair. I knocked on the walls, looking for anything strange. Then I noticed something. The window had one loose bar. It was not big enough to climb out, but maybe we could use it for something. Suddenly, we heard footsteps coming back. I quickly put the bar back and sat down like nothing happened. Uncle Tony opened the door. "Girls, are you hungry?" he asked with a fake smile. We shook our heads. He left again, locking the door. This time, we decided to act fast. I climbed up to the window and pulled the loose bar out. We started banging it on the door, making a loud noise. Bang, bang, bang. We shouted, "Help! Help us! Somebody, please help us!" Minutes passed like hours. We were scared but didn't stop shouting. Suddenly, we heard a voice outside. "Who is there? What is happening? Please help us!" we screamed. "We are locked inside." We heard footsteps running away. Our hearts sank. Did the person leave us? But after a few minutes, we heard police sirens. "This is the police. Open the door." We shouted louder. "We are inside. Please save us." The police broke the door open and rushed in. "You girls are safe now," one officer said, wrapping us in blankets. They arrested Uncle Tony and took us to the police station. We were shaking but so thankful. At the station, the officer said, "You girls are very brave. You made noise and someone heard you. That saved your lives." We hugged each other tightly, but deep down, we knew this was not the end of the story, because what we found out next shocked everyone. After the police saved us, they took us and our parents to the station to ask more questions. Uncle Tony sat in another room, handcuffed and looking angry. My mom hugged me tightly, tears rolling down her cheeks. "Chidinma, my daughter, thank God you are safe." Amaka's mom also cried and said, "You girls are lucky to be alive." The police officer came back and said, "We have something shocking to tell you." Everyone looked at him. "This man you know as Uncle Tony," the officer said, "is not really Tony. His real name is Ikechukwu, and he has been tricking girls like this in different towns, Owerri, Asaba, and even Aba. Our mouths dropped open. "He pretends to be nice," the officer continued, "and then traps people. But today, because you girls were brave, we finally caught him." Amaka and I looked at each other. I whispered, "We were so close to danger." But the police officer wasn't done. "We searched his house," he said, "and we found something even scarier." We all waited, holding our breath. He showed us a photo. It was a picture of Amaka and me taken secretly on the day we first met Uncle Tony outside the school. "What?" Amaka shouted. "He was watching us even before we knew him?" "Yes," the officer said. He had been following you girls and planning everything. My heart felt like it would stop. Couldn't believe it. The officer said, "But don't worry. We will make sure he goes to jail for a long, long time." That night at home I couldn't sleep. I kept thinking about how easily we could have disappeared. I sat up in bed and looked at Amaka, who was sleeping over at my house. She opened her eyes and said, "Chidinma, do you think there are more people like him out there?" I nodded slowly. "Yes, but we know better now." Amaka whispered, "We must tell everyone this story, so no other girl falls into this kind of trap." I agreed. Yes, we have to be brave. Not just for us, but for others too. We held hands tightly and promised each other. This is just the beginning of something bigger, because we didn't know it yet, but a new danger was waiting, and we would have to be ready. The next week at school, everyone knew about what happened. Our classmates looked at us like we were heroes. Even our teacher, Mrs. Okafor, called us to the front of the class. "Chidinma and Amaka," she said proudly, "you are both very brave. Can you please tell the class what you learned from this scary experience?" Amaka and I stood up and told them everything. We said, "Always tell your parents where you are going. Never follow anyone, even if they look nice or promise you good things." All the students listened carefully. Some even raised their hands to ask questions. Felt good to warn others. But that same day, something strange happened again. After school, Amaka and I were packing our bags when a boy from JSS 3 came to us. His name was Emeka. He looked nervous and whispered, "I need to tell you something." We were surprised. "What is it?" I asked. Emeka looked around to make sure no one was watching. Then he said quietly, "I heard some men talking near my street last night. They said they are angry because Uncle Tony got arrested, and now they are looking for you too." Amaka's eyes grew wide. "What? Are you sure?" Emeka nodded fast. "I heard it clearly. Please be careful." Our hearts started beating fast again. We thought the danger was over, but now it seemed like there was a bigger group behind Uncle Tony. We rushed home and told our parents. My mom looked worried. She said, "This is serious. We need to talk to the police right away." That evening, the police came to our house and said, "Thank you for telling us quickly. It seems there's a gang working together. We will keep watching your house and school closely." We felt a little safer, but inside we were still scared. That night, Amaka and I couldn't sleep. We sat by the window, looking out into the dark street. Every small noise made us jump. Amaka whispered, "Do you think they will really come for us?" I held her hand tightly. "I don't know, but we must be ready. We are not alone. The police and God are with us." We looked up at the stars and prayed silently for safety. Little did we know, the next day would bring an even bigger surprise that would change everything again. The next morning at school, Amaka and I were extra careful. We looked around before entering the gate and stayed close to the teachers. Our classmates were worried too. Some asked, "Are you girls okay? Did anything happen last night?" We just nodded and said, "We are fine, for now." At break time, while we were sitting under the mango tree, a new girl walked up to us. She looked about our age and was wearing a bright yellow scarf. "Hi," she said with a small smile. "My name is Ifeoma. Can I sit with you?" We looked at each other. After what happened with Ada before, we were very careful about new people. But Ifeoma seemed nice, and we didn't want to be rude. So we said, "Okay." As we talked, she asked a lot of questions like, "Is it true you escaped from a bad man's house? What did he look like? Are you scared?" Her questions made me feel a little uncomfortable, but Amaka tried to be polite. Suddenly, our teacher, Mrs. Okafor, came out of the staff room and called us loudly. "Chidinma, Amaka, come here now." We stood up quickly. "See you later, Ifeoma," I said. When we got to Mrs. Okafor, she looked serious. "Girls, come with me to the principal's office." Our hearts started beating fast. Did we do something wrong? Amaka whispered. We entered the principal's office and were shocked to see a man sitting there. He wore a plain shirt and jeans, but he looked very smart. "Hello, girls," he said with a calm voice. "I'm Officer James. I am working with the police, but secretly. We looked at each other, confused. Secretly? I asked. Yes, he said. We believe there's still danger around you, and we want to catch everyone involved. So, I am here as a helper, but no one must know. Amaka's eyes grew wide. Do you think someone in our school is spying? Officer James looked serious. We are not sure yet, but be very careful. Watch what you say, and trust only your parents and teachers. We nodded quickly. It felt scary again, but also a little safe knowing someone was helping us. As we walked back to class, Amaka whispered, Do you think that new girl, Ifeoma, could she be spying too? I frowned. We don't know yet, but from now on we watch everybody. Little did we know, Ifeoma was hiding a secret that would soon change everything. That afternoon, Amaka and I sat in class but couldn't focus. My eyes kept moving toward Ifeoma, who was sitting 2 rows in front of us. She laughed and joked with other girls, acting like everything was normal. But something didn't feel right. After school, as we packed our bags, Ifeoma walked up to us again. Hi friends, do you want to come to my house today? My mom makes the best meat pie in all of Nsukka. Amaka and I looked at each other quickly. My heart started beating fast. This sounded just like what Ada had said before. I said slowly. Where do you live? She smiled sweetly. Not far, just a 10-minute walk. I shook my head. Sorry, we can't come. Our mom said we must come home straight after school. Ifeoma's smile dropped for a second, but she quickly covered it up. No problem. Maybe another time. As she walked away, Amaka whispered, Did you see her face when we said no? She looked angry. I nodded. We have to be careful. We rushed home and told my mom everything. She looked worried and said, Good girls. Never trust anyone too quickly. This might be part of their plan. That night, we prayed again before sleeping. But around midnight, my phone beeped. I woke up and saw a message from an unknown number. Why didn't you come today? Don't you trust me? Pouting face. My hands started shaking. Quickly woke Amaka. Look at this. Her eyes widened. That must be Ifeoma. How did she get your number? Just then, my mom came into the room because she heard us talking. We showed her the message. She called Officer James right away. Stay calm, Officer James said. This is proof something is wrong. Tomorrow I will follow you to school in secret. Let's see what Ifeoma does next. The next morning we felt nervous but acted normal. As we entered the school gate, we looked around. We didn't see Officer James, but we knew he was watching. At break time, Ifeoma came to us again. Hey, you didn't reply to my message, she said, smiling, but her eyes looked cold. I pretended to be confused. Message? What message? She frowned a little but didn't answer. Then she said, Okay, no problem. But as she turned to leave, we noticed her secretly typing something on her phone. That's when Officer James suddenly appeared and tapped her shoulder. Hello, Ifeoma. Can I speak to you for a moment? Her face turned white. Amaka and I watched from a distance as they walked away toward the principal's office. What do you think is happening now? Amaka whispered. I shook my head. I don't know. But I feel like we are about to find out something really big. And deep inside, we knew the truth was finally coming closer. We waited and waited, but Officer James and Ifeoma didn't come back to class for the rest of the day. Our minds were racing. What was happening in the principal's office? Was Ifeoma in serious trouble? After school, Officer James met us by the gate. His face looked serious, but also a little bit relieved. Girls, he said quietly, you were right to be careful. Ifeoma has been talking to the same gang that worked with Uncle Tony. She was sent to watch you and try to trick you again. Our mouths dropped open. She told us everything, Officer James continued. She said she didn't want to be part of it at first, but they forced her because her big brother is part of the gang. Amaka gasped. So what will happen to her now? For now, Officer James said. She is staying with the police to keep her safe while we catch the rest of the gang. We felt a mix of fear and relief. It was scary that the danger had come so close again, but we were glad the truth was out. At home, we told our parents everything. My mom hugged us tight and said, "I am so proud of you both. You stayed smart and brave." That night, Amaka and I lay in bed, thinking about everything that had happened. "Do you think it's really over now?" Amaka asked. I looked at the ceiling and sighed. "I don't know. But one thing is sure. We have learned to be very, very careful." We fell asleep holding hands, feeling safe for the first time in weeks. But early the next morning, Officer James called my mum. "Hello? Yes, what?" my mum shouted. She turned to us with wide eyes. "Girls, wake up," she said. "Something has happened again." We jumped out of bed, our hearts racing. "What is it, Mum? What happened?" She looked at us and said, "The police station. It was broken into last night." Our eyes grew wide with shock. "And Ifeoma," she said slowly, "is missing." Amaka and I stared at my mum, shocked. "What do you mean Ifeoma is missing?" I asked, my voice shaking. My mum sighed deeply. "The police said someone broke into the station last night. They think the gang helped Ifeoma escape, or maybe even took her." Amaka's eyes filled with tears. But she was just starting to help the police. Why would she run away?" My mum shook her head. "Nobody knows yet, but Officer James is coming here soon to explain everything." A few minutes later, Officer James arrived. His face looked tired and worried. "Girls," he said, sitting down with us, "I know you're scared. We all are. Ifeoma was a key part of this case. We thought she wanted to help, but now it's not clear if she tricked us, or if she was kidnapped." Amaka bit her lip. "What do we do now?" Officer James looked serious. "I want you girls to stay extra careful. Don't talk to strangers. Don't open the door unless your parents say it's okay. And if you see or hear anything strange, tell us right away." We nodded quickly, our hearts pounding. Later that day, we stayed indoors, too scared to even play outside. As we sat by the window watching the street, Amaka whispered, "Chidinma, what if Ifeoma was pretending all along? What if she was really bad?" I frowned, thinking hard. Or, what if she was in danger and really needed our help? We didn't know what to believe anymore. That night, as we were getting ready for bed, my phone buzzed. It was a message from an unknown number again. I opened it and gasped. It was a photo. The photo showed Ifeoma, tied up and looking scared. There was a message under the photo. "Stay quiet or she gets hurt. We are watching you." My hands shook as I showed the message to Amaka and my mum. My mum quickly called Officer James. "This is serious," he said. "Don't reply to that message. We will trace it and try to find her." Amaka whispered, "This is getting scarier and scarier." I held her hand tightly. "But we won't give up. We'll stay strong, no matter what." Little did we know, this was just the beginning of a much deeper mystery. The next morning, Amaka and I barely ate our breakfast. We kept staring at my phone, hoping for another message, or maybe a clue. My mum stayed close to us, worried. Suddenly, there was a knock at the door. We jumped in fear. "Who is it?" my mum called out. "It's me, Officer James," came the familiar voice. We quickly opened the door. Officer James stepped in, holding a small laptop. "We traced the number that sent the photo last night," he said. "It's coming from somewhere near an old warehouse, just outside town." Our eyes widened. "Are you going there now?" I asked. "Yes," he said. "We have a full team ready. But I need you girls to remember everything. Anything small that Ifeoma said or did that might help us." We thought hard. Amaka suddenly said, "Wait." On her first day, she told us her mum made the best meat pie in all of Nsukka. But later, I heard her tell another girl that her family just moved here from Port Harcourt. Officer James's eyes lit up. "Good catch. That means she was lying from the start. Maybe that warehouse is where they kept her the whole time." He stood up. "We're moving now. Stay safe at home." Hours passed, and we sat by the window waiting and praying. Every car that passed made our hearts race. Finally, just as the sun was setting, Officer James called. "We found the warehouse," he said. But Ifeoma wasn't there. We found signs that people left in a hurry, like they knew we were coming. Amaka gasped. So, what happens now? Officer James's voice was serious. The gang is smart, but we are smarter. We will catch them. Just stay strong and keep your eyes open. After the call, Amaka looked at me with tears in her eyes. Chidinma, will this ever end? I hugged her tight. We don't know, but we won't give up. That night, as we lay in bed, my phone buzzed again. It was another message. This time it was a voice note. Amaka and I looked at each other, scared but curious. Slowly I pressed play. We heard Ifeoma's voice, whispering quickly, Chidinma, Amaka, help me. They are taking me to... Static noise, hurry. The message cut off. We stared at each other, our hearts racing faster than ever. We have to tell Officer James now, Amaka shouted. And we knew the fight to save Ifeoma was far from over. We quickly called Officer James and played the voice note for him. This is good, he said. Very good. Now we know she's still alive, and she's trying to send clues. Did you hear anything in the background? We listened to the message again and noticed something new. In the background, we could hear a loud, deep horn, the kind that big ships make. Wait, Amaka said, her eyes wide. That sounds like the harbor, where the ships dock near Enugu River. Officer James sounded excited. Brilliant girls. That could be it. We'll search around the harbor first thing tomorrow morning. That night, Amaka and I stayed awake for hours, staring at the ceiling. Every noise outside made us jump. Do you think they'll find her this time? Amaka whispered. I squeezed her hand. I hope so. We are so close now. The next morning, Officer James called early. We're moving in now, he said. Stay safe and keep your phones close. We waited all day, barely able to eat or sit still. Hours passed. The sun started to set again. Suddenly, my phone rang. It was Officer James. We found something, he said, his voice serious. A small room near the docks. But Ifeoma wasn't there. We found her scarf and a note. A note? I asked quickly. Yes, he said. It says, too slow. She's with us now in ABA. Don't follow us or else. Our hearts sank. ABA was a big town and the gang was moving fast. Amaka started crying. They're always one step ahead. Officer James spoke calmly. Don't lose hope. We're working with the police in ABA now. We'll find her. After he hung up, my mum hugged us tight. You girls have been so brave, she said. This is not your fault. But Amaka and I couldn't stop thinking about Ifeoma. Where she was, if she was okay, and how we could help next. As we sat quietly, my phone beeped again. This time it was a message with a strange clue. The place of many shoes. She waits. We looked at each other, confused. What does that mean? Amaka asked. I frowned, thinking hard. Many shoes? Suddenly, my eyes lit up. Wait, ABA is famous for making shoes. Do you think she's trying to tell us exactly where she is? Amaka gasped. The ABA shoe market. We quickly called Officer James and told him our idea. Excellent thinking, he said. We're heading there now. As we hung up, Amaka whispered, I feel like this time, we might really find her. We held hands, hearts pounding, waiting for the next news.